guys, gals, Derek Lambert. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button, share this information. I'm going to be speaking to a mother who has lost her oldest child, Jason Bell, to heroin and meth. It's a very disappointing situation that we lose our loved ones all the time, and it's always a serious situation. If anyone's life is lost, you know that's why I do this, because I love and care for those who are like me, who struggle with this thing. It's more than just a choice. Don't be fooled, I promise you. My own experience tells me that. And I'd like to share this story with you, my audience, for those parents of loved ones who've passed or who are currently fighting this addiction. You know, it's not over until it's over. And you guys can see the afflictions, the scars, the struggles from a mother herself. Let's go ahead and get right into this. So, hey mom, if you don't mind me calling you mom, I'm going to call you mom because I really appreciate you reaching out to me. You thought it was fake. You're like, who's this guy putting his number out there? And you got me. So I want to just go and allow you to just freely express what happened to your son, what you went through, and we'll get to the end and talk about maybe some hope that you can give to another loved one or parent and advice that you would give to someone.
Okay. I really don't know where the beginning is because I don't know when he really started. That's not something he was going to share with his mother. But when I started noticing that his life wasn't going right, it was about five plus years before he died. And it started with all the lies, and he always needed money, and he got paid, but he lost his check. Always some kind of lie. And then he started stealing from me. He started stealing from his grandparents, from his siblings. And when he started stealing from my family and from his siblings, I started to kind of keep my relationship separate from my family. My relationship with him separate from my family, because he was still my son. I was still going to be his mom, but I didn't want him to hurt them. So it was weird. It was like they all kind of lost touch with him. I was protecting both sides, and I was in the middle because I wasn't going to give up on him, but I didn't want them to be hurt like he was hurting them. So that was difficult. He would come up with so many stories, and I didn't really believe him, but I wanted to, because I wanted to help him. And I don't know the extent. I don't know what dark world he was living in. I'm his mom. I didn't, he's not going to share that with me. But there were some instances that were scary, very dark and very scary. And I would beg him to please stop. I'll help you. What do you need? What do we need to do? Let's figure this out. We'll do it together. I'll do it with you. And he would just cry and say, Mom, I can't. I've just screwed up so much already. I've hurt everybody. Like, what's the point? And I would tell him, we can fix all that one step at a time. It doesn't matter. You have children. And so this last, before he died, the couple weeks before he died, he was in jail. So he was clean. And we were talking on the phone every single day. And it was my Jason again. And we were having these long talks about, how much he loved his kids and how sorry he was for everything he did. And I told I would tell him how much I loved him, and he would tell me how much he loved me. And I would say, when you get out, babe, we're gonna make this right. We're gonna do it together. And he was like, okay, Mom, we're gonna do this. I don't want to be like this. I hate it. I hate this life. And I know he hated that life. He wasn't having fun. He was struggling every day. Every day sucked. It was just a matter of trying not to be sick. And the day he got out of jail, he used. So I was mad, and he texted me and he said, "Mom, I need you." And I said, "No." I sent him a mean text back and I said, "You made your choice. We had our discussions. You said you were going to try to get clean and you did this. The first thing you did was use." I said, "No, you made your choice. You're on your own." So he texted me the next morning and he said, "Mom, please, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I'm dirty. I need you." And I said, "Something inside me." I said, "Where are you?" And he told me where he was, and I headed straight over there and I picked him up and I bought him food. The part that kills me is I made him sit in the back seat. I was still angry, and I brought him home, and he did his laundry, and he ate, and we were watching TV, and we were talking, and we were talking about that football player that got uh, committed murder, Hernandez, I think. They were having a documentary on TV about him, and he said, "Mom, can you look into that for me?" Because he had a lot of head injuries in football. And I said, "Yeah, babe, I'll look into that." And he said, "Can I stay here tonight?" And I said, "Are you going to go to rehab?" And he said, "No, I don't need rehab." And I said, "Well, then you can't stay here." So I sent my other son to the ATM to get money, and I gave him $300, and he put his clothes in a trash bag, and he left. And I told him, "You could stay all day, take a nap, just relax, watch TV." And he said, "No, I'm going to go." And his last words to me were, "I love you and thank you for everything you've done for me." And I said, "I love you too, babe. I'll talk to you tomorrow." And he left. And I feel so bad because I feel like I should have felt the moment that he died. I should have felt it as his mom. I should have felt it, and I didn't. And I got up the next morning. It was Father's Day. And I went over to my dad's house early. And my younger son came over and he said, "Mom, your phone is blowing up." So I came home to see what was going on. I got my phone, and it was the girl that he had been seeing. And I called her and I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Jason's gone." And I said, "Where is he?" And she said, "He's gone." I said, "Okay, where is he? Where do I need to pick him up?" And she said, "He's gone." And I got mad. I yelled at her and I cussed at her and I said, "Well, tell me my son is dead. Don't you tell me that my son is dead." I said, "What are you doing? Are you helping him?" And I ran out of my house and I fell to the floor. And I lived near my dad, and my whole family was at my dad's, and they heard me and they came running and they took the phone from me. And I could hear my sister saying, "Well, are they doing CPR? What are they doing?" And I looked at my younger son and I said, "Take me to him now. Take me to him now." And we went. He was at a Super 8 motel. The coroner was already there. They didn't let me in to see him. I begged them, they wouldn't let me in. So they brought him out in a body bag. I didn't even get to touch him. But I told the coroner, I said, "Don't do an autopsy. I work in the medical field. I know what an autopsy is." And I said, "Don't do that to him." I said, "You know how he died." Everything was on the counter laid out. And she said, "I'll do my best." And she called and she said, "You have to do the autopsy." I said, "Okay, go ahead." And so at the funeral home, um, you pay extra to do an autopsy fix, because when they do an autopsy, they take all your organs out and they weigh them and they do tests on them. Well, they don't put them back. I don't know. A lot of people don't know this, but they don't put your organs back. They just put them on top of you. And then the funeral home charges you extra to fix that up so you can see them. Well, the funeral home calls me and said, we're not even going to do the autopsy fix. So I never saw my baby. But we got to spend time with him when he was, in a bag. And I told him how sorry I was. I wanted to die. I wanted to die so I could be with him. And then I finally, it's not better. I'm still hurting. I'm probably hurting more, but I'm more mentally stable. And I decided that his death wasn't going to be in vain. I made that decision and I promised him that's not going to be, your kids are not going to remember you that way. That's not going to be how it is. With every cell in my body, I will make your memory mean something. I will make a difference in your name. And I just started getting on the phone and I started talking to schools, to cops, to senators, to anybody that I could. I started asking people, can I speak at you're having a luncheon, teachers were having a luncheon, can I speak? Give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes. And they would let me speak. And then through that, I just started getting more and more people contacting me. And so it's kind of snowballed. And I actually got a phone call today from the school that he went to, which is what I've been working hard on. And they're going to give me a whole hour on December 4th.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes. See, I told you, didn't I? I told you, don't give up. Don't give up. You have a story. I wanted to cry earlier, even just hearing it, because I'm a father. My kids are still young. And I'll do everything I can. I'm learning. You're teaching me. You're teaching me also what I would try to do different in your situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I'm sure, I know you wish you had a time machine. I wish I had one. You know what I mean?
If I could have kept him home that night, I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this, because I think this is important. We can't change what happened, and I know every fiber in your body cries out, I wish, right? What would you tell a parent that's in the same shoes as you were at that point? Would you, even if you had to, and this is just from my own experience, tell me if you agree with this, would you tell them, I'll get you straight, let's go to rehab. I'll get you what you need, let's go to rehab together, and try to make sure that they're safe in the process? Or, because I did that with my younger brother. My younger brother needed help, and so I even went out of my way to get him what he needed to make him happy in his brain enough to get him into a rehab, and I did. He had 60 days clean and relapsed. I was just fingers crossed, hoping.
Yeah. Okay. So what I do now is, because I belong to an online group. It's called Moms Who Love Addicts. And the message that I always give them is, and this is what I've learned from my experience, and this is probably the most important thing that I could ever tell a parent. An addict feels alone. They're alone, completely alone. They feel hopeless. They feel disgusted in themselves. They know what they've done. They know that they're stealing. They know that they're lying. They know this, but they can't help it. They physically, mentally, emotionally, they can't help it. I know this now, But the most important thing that I say to parents whenever they ask me, let your addict know you love them. Even if you're telling them no, let them know how much you love them. They don't think anybody loves them. And in our anger, because of all the things they do to us, often we're yelling at them. And I was there with Jason. I would yell at him, like, what is wrong with you? Come on. Because I got the pictures from the OMI. He's on that dirty floor, dead, all by himself. And he had a mama here that loved him. And he was over there by himself. But just, and my last words to him were, I love you. And that makes me happy. But I think it's so important. I don't care how angry you are at them. I don't care how much they've hurt you. Even if you're not going to help them, you're not helping in the way they think they need help, let them know they are loved. Let them know that. So at least they have that. Like, okay, not everybody hates me. This person, my mom, my dad loves me. That gives them that little bit, that little tiny piece of hope. That when they're ready and when they can figure out which way they need to go to get better, at least they can turn to that one person because that person didn't turn them away and say, I'm ready. Because if you shut them out, who do they have? What do they have? What reason would they have for getting clean? That's how I feel.
So powerful and true. When I was trying to get clean the last time and I made it, my mom met me at the lady's house and she sat me down. And I've mentioned this on my channel before. And she looked at me in the eyes and she said, Derek, I love you, son. And I'm like, I know, Mama. I know. She's like, no, you don't understand, you know? And she repeated it. And I was like, I know, Mom. And I didn't feel, I was so hurt and angry and all these things inside. And she said it a third or fourth time. She kept telling me, like, no, listen to what I'm saying, you know? And it was like I had to listen. And she got really into it. And she said, I love you, son, like with everything. And I felt this break inside of my heart, an emotional, like, it got through to me. And so I'll never forget that. Many, many mothers and fathers are out there right now who are going through what you went through or are in those stages where they might lose their child. Do you have something that you would say to them?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't think there's anything you could say to a mom that lost her child, honestly. Um, like I said, just always let them know that they are loved. I think that's the most important thing. Um, but losing your child, especially to this, it just makes me so angry because it doesn't need to be like this. It doesn't. I mean, when did this war on drugs start? In the Nixon administration, he declared war on drugs. You can't declare war on an object. You're declaring war on people. These are people. They're human beings. Look at our prisons. How full of people that use drugs or sold drugs or didn't make their court date for their parking ticket. I mean, what drug addict is going to remember about their court date for their parking ticket? We criminalize them. It's not working. What we're doing as a country is not working. I think individually, people are starting to wake up and say, hey, our kids are dying. And I love that I can get together with you and I can get together with Lou, that's the head of the APS program. I can get together with, I just found out today that I have a cousin that's working for the governor's office. got a grant for $1 million to fight this. I'm going to contact her. I mean, I think when change really comes, it comes from the people, not from the government. Fighting. We need to keep fighting because I don't want a single other child to die from this. I don't, because it's not necessary.
I 100% agree, and that's also why I do what I do. To have the addict. See, I'm the guy they can relate to, and they can look at and go, ah, you sat on the couch, you were detoxing, you know what I'm talking about. And I totally love every single one of them. And like, there's not a thing I haven't heard that, you know, the typical normal world would shun. It makes me love them that much more. They've been through that deep of pain and gone through that many things, and they're still alive. Man, some of the strongest people I ever met have gone through the same type of things that your son went through. And let me tell you, he's at peace. That's one thing I know for sure. And he's alive in you. And you're carrying his voice, and I really appreciate the fact that you've came on here, gave this to my audience, and who knows who else might hear this, that gives them hope that, you know what, I want to keep loving my son. I want to try and help him. Now, one thing I am a big fan of is loving them so much, though, that they aren't being, try not to enable to the point to where they get their way and they end up ruining themselves that way, but try to get them in help. You know what I mean?
Loving them doesn't mean enabling them. Those are two different things. Yeah.
Yeah, because
when you say, no, I can't give you money, I love you. I love you, son. But no, I can't give you money.
I agree.
You know, there's and somewhere inside, somewhere in there, they hear it. They hear it.
You're right. And I used to do the same things your son did to get the money, lie, steal, do the whole nine. I know exactly where he's at in terms of that. So anyone who's watching, who's struggling, reach out before it's too late. You know, reach out. And if you're a mother, father, and you're dealing with a child, reach out. Reach out to someone somewhere. I put my information out there for anybody who wants to contact me, because I try to help people get help, whether it's outpatient, inpatient, you name it. I try to help them find help the best I can, and keep giving your voice, because you have a good message, and I really feel what you said. So thank you so much for joining me. Your son was born February the 2nd, 1988. I was born in 1988, May, but he passed away in June 17th of 2018. And his memory will go on. That's Jason Bell, everybody. So is there a way of contact that if someone wants to speak to you, or is there a way of people reaching out to you? Do you give that information?
I'm on Instagram, Jason's Wish. No, it's called Jason's Wish, No Shame. And I'm on Facebook under Bernadine Sanchez, and I have a YouTube channel. It's called Jason's Wish, No Shame, but I don't have no content on it at this moment.
So if you're watching, go show her some love. Share her content. Get it out there. Let's get this message out there and stop criminalizing people who are screwed by a system, a whole living organism that is causing our children to go through this. I know that I fell victim, and many of you watching also fell victim. Thank you for joining me on the show here, and I look forward to hearing back from you.